What's going on, everyone? Seth Miranda here for Adorama TV with two new additions to Fujifilm's XF mount. We are looking at the 27mm f2.8 little guy right here, and we have the 70mm f4 to f5.6 LM linear motor for fast and quiet autofocus, OIS for optical stabilization, and WR for weather resistant, just like the 27mm here. Two totally different lenses, but we wanted to go to a cool place to see what we could do with them. So I got to be a tourist in my own city here at the Oculus in New York City. Got some architecture, some street shots, just to see what we can do and what we can get from these lenses. So let's talk about this 27mm f2.8 first. Well, it's, like I said, small, tiny, and discreet. So it's about a 41-ish millimeter field if it was a full frame lens. So you got like a wide angle, but not too wide. It's a little wider than, 50mm nifty 50 that you would carry around. But it gives you that wider view for that kind of feel that you're on the street, right? We have these wider look when we're naturally walking through the street, except instead of 180 degrees, we have 55.5 degrees angle of view with this lens. And because it's so small, it's more discreet. You're able to get those candid shots. You're able to be less of a distraction to people or just a target for people's eyeballs. You can just kind of not exist and still get really great shots. On top of it being small, even the lens hood is low profile. It screws right into the filter threads in the front of the lens. Instead of a lens hood that's the size of the lens itself, it keeps it low profile, which is great. And even though it's so small, you still get that tangible aperture ring from f2.8 to f16, which is a lot of fun to use. A lot of people tend to really like having that extra control on their lens instead of being on the body itself. So you actually are looking down at your settings. It's kind of like an old school camera, but that's kind of like the appeal of Fuji, right? Okay, that's good for the 27mm little guy right here, but what about the big guy, the 70-300mm f4 to 5.6? Well, it takes full advantage of that APS-C sensor. It's pretty much the equivalent of 100-ish millimeter to 450 millimeter-ish in full frame, if you want to think of it that way. But look at how small this is and gives you all that reach. And especially with all that reach, you're gonna need stabilization. And they're claiming 5.5 stops of optical image stabilization from the glass itself, not even counting the internal body stabilization on whatever camera you put it onto, which is awesome. Now, this isn't just about long reach, this is also about getting close. This thing has 32-inch minimum focusing distance. You can see here that we got really tight, close shots on some up close objects, which is really cool because one of the fun things about a long lens is abstracting things. And one of the fun things about getting close to something is abstracting objects as well. So you can get really creative with a lens like this while also having the utility of being able to reach long distances for things like sports or whatever else, bird shooting or whatever kind of thing you want to get into that you need that long range, that reach, you really want to get in there. And it gave me a lot of versatility out here on the streets in New York, along with the architecture here in New York. So these are some nice additions and pretty affordable additions as well to the XF mount. If you're looking for something like this, they give you a nice wide range, going from super discreet to giving you a lot of range with still being pretty discreet for what it is, okay? If you guys have any questions for me about my use of the 27mm f2.8 or the 70-300 f4 to 5.6 XF mount, hit me with a comment down below. Don't forget to like, share this video around, and subscribe, plus the bell to get notified when more videos like this come out. And I'll see you guys next time. Later. I swear to God, I just heard the door open. Okay. Can't win. You can't win, Rocky. You can't. All right.